first time you saw someone else wearing your shirt
Yeah.
at WrestleMania, it should have been the sign for you, man.
I was.
Because for me, like, I kid you not, the first time I saw Slick Living on someone else's body over Instagram, I lost it.
Yeah.
I freaking lost it.
How crazy was it when I saw the girl going into NXT in a Slick Living shirt? And I sent you a picture.
Loved it. I seen Sasha Banks in a Slick Living beat. I was like,
sweet. Yeah. Dude, when Bret Hart and his kids wore it, like, that was Bret Hart. Like,
come on, bro.
It blew my mind. Like, this is the thing I think a lot of people don't understand. So if there's anyone out there that doesn't believe in themselves, that don't think they can do anything, like, oh, that's so out of the question, that would never happen. When I graduated high school, never did I think that I could, like, have full-on conversations with people like Bret Hart, The Rock, Hulk Hogan. Like, it's insane.
Yes, man.
Like, those are things you don't think would ever happen. Like, I used to watch these guys on TV, and now he's wearing my shirt. When I met Bret Hart the first time, I cried that I didn't meet him. No, I met him, but I cried that I didn't actually meet him. Like, I was crying. My mom was like, like, I didn't meet him.
Yeah.
So that's nuts. Think about that. Like, I stood in line. I think it was like a Humpty's Donut or something. My brother was there too. He met him, got the autograph, got my autograph too. I was crying. I was too shy to meet Bret Hart because he was like, I grew up loving the X-Men, Batman, and Spider-Man. Those were my 3 favorite superheroes.
Nice.
When it comes to wrestling, it was different. I looked at them as superheroes too, but they were real. Yeah. Okay, somewhere early on I realized, like, these are cartoons and stuff. But I am like, wrestling, it took me a little bit longer. I'm like, these are real people.
Yes, man.
These are real people that I could actually meet and shake hands with. I can't meet Batman. Like, No. So
actually, you're talking to him, but go ahead.
My bad. Go on. Like, that was crazy. So when that happened, it was because his sons I got really tight with, Blade and Dallas. And we want to talk about missing opportunities and learning from failures. I was supposed to do a podcast with Bret Hart way back, and I felt like I wasn't ready yet. So I'm like, let me just get the site ready. And then Nick Hossman from WrestleZone took over it, and then he did the podcast with Bret Hart. But technically, Blade was coming to me. He's like, we want to do it with you. Oh. But in my mind, I'm like, I didn't think of myself like I do now. I'm like, so that's always something I look back. I'm like, that could have been mine, and we probably could have still been doing it because they kind of, Nick kind of dropped the ball on that. But
damn it.
But that, even though I didn't do it with him, maybe that was a good thing because now I still have such a good relationship with him. Maybe I would have done it and it would have been a bad relationship or we would have ended on bad terms. But now I talk to, like, the whole family. And then this year at WrestleMania, when I went to WrestleCon, by accident, I was supposed to not be at WrestleCon. Things just happened by themselves, like, when you least expect.
You're wrestling classic.
I literally just walked in the studio and now I'm on a podcast. I don't know. Bro. But I went to WrestleCon because something else that was planned to happen didn't work out. Like, Sheamus tried to hook me up with some stuff, but he got some pushback. Someone else who I would never have thought I would have had a friendship with. Give it like 2-3 years ago now, we're like texting each other, and he was trying to hook me up with media passes and stuff. Shout out to Sheamus. He's probably one of the coolest, nicest guys I've ever met. So anyways, I walked into WrestleCon because that didn't work out, to meet up with my friends. And then I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. And I had no intention to go to WrestleCon. Like, I didn't think I was going to go there that weekend. I had all these plans of things I was going to do. But I was at WrestleCon and I was like, well, Ric Flair's here. And I've done a ton of stuff with Ric Flair for the Ric Flair shop and dealing with his managers and stuff. So I'm like, I should, and Charlotte follows the page as well, his daughter, who's, if you don't watch wrestling now, go check out Charlotte Flair. She's a hell of an athlete, man. But I met Ric Flair, which was really cool. And, he almost, he was really sick last year and stuff. So I'm like, this is something I have to do now. Yeah. And Ric Flair drip just came out and he was like the hottest thing on the planet.
Isn't it amazing?
That's nuts, right?
It's amazing.
You want to talk about that? Because that's just nuts.
Dog, it makes no sense that Ric Flair can still be so influential.
This guy was the biggest in the 70s and the 80s and obviously the 90s as well.
But he was just 3 to 6 months ago.
Yeah.
His name is everywhere again. Yeah. And he's out there, with the robe still going hammer time. Man.
We can go an hour about me talking about how much character matters.
Yeah.
Because it's a Ric Flair character that's so over that it influenced so many people.
Everybody.
Such as the Migos as well, like Offset. You know what I mean? Like, that's insane.
Yo, what's going on? It's Khleo Thomas, aka Mr. Slick Living. If you enjoyed this clip of the AwareWolvvves podcast, make sure you sign on to patreon.com/Khleo Thomas and pledge today so you can have access to the full episode.